Guardrail 9's signal is jamming your HUD. Be advised that we can no longer refresh your intel.
Hi everyone, Roman Jenkins here. Welcome back to Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. I died in this first section. We're gonna get another update here.
You're out in the open, Scott. Careful. Use your UAV-3.
This level is 40 minutes long, and it took me about an hour to play through. And I'm sort of proud of the fact that I only died about twice, actually, now that I think about it. It's not an easy level. You're going to see me using this UAV and basically mothering it to keep it safe as much as possible. This is a difficult level. It's got a few different sections to it, and outside of that UAV, I'm on my own. Thankfully, I start off with this gun camera. It gives me a lot of good protection. It keeps me covered for the most part. The first time through this, I tried to cover behind the car, realized I couldn't go into cover mode, and got shot through a window. That went real well. And also, people showed up on that alley I just looked at, so that kind of scared me. As you can see, there's a kit container over there, and it's quite a distance away. Right here, I try to shoot through the car. The major issue with the gun camera is that it's only automatic fire, and you can't always keep accurate with automatic fire in this game. So I am going to have to switch out no matter what later on, and I'll get to that when we get to it. It's fairly late in the game. This is a bit dangerous, what I do here. That was stupid. That was just incredibly dumb of me. And if I died there, I would have been pissed. I make a couple dumb mistakes in this video that I would normally not make. But I couldn't remember enemy placement from years ago, so I kind of got stuck in certain spots. The other issue is that this UAV is not the best. It doesn't always detect things when it's facing them. So I got paranoid because it never picked up the guys it was basically over the top of before. This is going to be a long level, as I said, and there's going to be some fairly significant pauses and moments where I'm not talking. I was toying with the idea of putting in a heartbeat counter at the bottom of the screen, just so you can get an idea of just how tense the situation was at any given time, but I ultimately decided not to do that. And here you can see me being paranoid. Now, you can go down that alleyway over here and clean up a couple guys pretty easily. You can go on that main road too, but it's basically a wash. There's barriers and all that stuff there. So it's much easier to go down this alleyway than the other alleyway where you get behind this guy, because you don't know exactly what you're going to face. And you'll see what I mean by that. Oh! Yeah, I was trying to make sure I was going in even the right direction there. But otherwise you get that guy, and then this guy in the alleyway, if you didn't know he was here, would come after you. So choosing your battles is a major point of this level. Making sure you stick to cover as well. This is a level that does not play to Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter's strengths in a lot of ways. It's a lot of tight corridors, there's a sniping section, there's a lot of areas where the game's strengths are usually playing slow, methodical, and fighting at a distance. This level really makes you fight up close on a lot of occasions in a lot of bad situations, and sometimes without the equipment to really help out. So this is one of those situations where it plays to its strengths. It's got a fairly spaced out area with only a few guys in it, and you've got the equipment, the UAV, and the gun camera to take care of this. So it's not a bad spot. But later on it gets really bad, and if you didn't have the gun camera, you'd really wish you did. Or the camera gun, I don't know what it is anymore. Alright, and this is a bad spot right there. You can get killed by that guy pretty easily. Alright, we're going to pull the UAV back to us a little bit, just to scope it out. And you have to be ready for me to take a really long time to clear sections. I'm not going to apologize for that, but I am going to explain that there are parts of this level that I did not feel comfortable walking through at anything close to a normal pace. This section, for example, I didn't know he was there. I felt like there should be somebody there, and so looked for him, found him, and I actually didn't die because of that. And that's the sort of level this is. You just have to kind of know how the game would lay out people if you want to survive. And here's an interesting section. The level, by the way, is, except for the very start and the second half of the level, and by the second half I mean the first part of the second half, are pretty much completely blind. I haven't played this level in years, so I'm just going off basic memories of years ago. That looks like a trap, doesn't it? So you can see my objective's somewhere in that station, and it's starting to pick up things. The UAV's picking up things and getting shot at pretty significantly there. So let's be careful. Slowly, okay. That was a complete panic shot, and now I realize how screwed I am. If I didn't have this gun camera, I would be done. I didn't even feel right zooming in on these guys. I was hoping to just get them like this. With all the ammo I have, it's not a bad idea. Just look at that number of people. And if you remember the area in the first solo mission where I was on the staircase and there were 3 guys shooting at me while I was behind cover, and I had to time it so specifically so I wouldn't get hit, this section would be almost impossible if I had to play like that. So if you don't take this gun with a camera on it, you are pretty much screwed. And I just think that doesn't play, if you're not forced into this weapon, this level is going to be difficult at the best of times. Alright, that's cleared out. This is paranoia right here. So objective at hand. Just have to get into the train station. Yeah, I don't trust this. So let's talk a minute about what we're doing in this level. We are out here to find Guardrail 9, which was the package from the first mission. Hold on.
Hang on. We've got a scramble on the football signal emanating from a source within the train station. Its infrared signature suggests it might be Guardrail 9.
Mitchell, I want that hunk of metal blown to pieces once and for all. Are we clear on that, soldier?
Roger. Destroy the big raid. Understood, General.
Be advised, you're now indoors. UAV-3 is unavailable.
The idea is that Guardrail 9 was the thing that was shot down in Nicaragua, and there is a 4-player co-op mode to this game that takes place in Nicaragua, trying to find out what happened to the package. And it's a prequel to this, actually, main storyline. And we saw it very briefly at the start. The guy who has the nuclear football has this Guardrail 9 device as well, and it's used for jamming electronic communication devices and electronic devices in general. So I don't know why they need that when they have those things from the other solo mission that could do the exact same thing, but were much, much smaller, as we'll see. But, it's a video game. So the idea here is that we have to go either capture it back or destroy it, and figure out what it really has to do with the plans of the Mexican rebels. This is a paranoia-inducing section, if there ever was one. You get bombarded with people above you, below you, everywhere. So my idea was to take the high ground, because it felt like the ideal thing to do. Then I found out you can't take cover behind windows. And if you try to go past cover, no, that doesn't work. Stand up. Nope. So now I'm feeling like I'm kind of stuck. And sure enough, there's a guy up top now too. This is a section I was not appreciative of. If you're wondering why I'm not zooming in with the gun camera, it's because I don't want to get caught off guard. And when you zoom in and you can't see too well, it really leads to a lot of situations where people can sneak up around you or behind you, beside you, that you would normally be able to see thanks to the third person mode, but you just can't find them if you have the gun cam zoomed in. And that is my major concern. Also, you have to hit Y to jump off this thing. You can't just fall off of it. And same thing here. I don't know why that was. And here's a classic example of me not paying attention to what I'm doing. and paying for it. Yeah, I am now getting shot at from about 5 different angles. As you can see, that's not the best thing in the world. This is my only safe spot, and just barely. It's because of that pillar right there. But this gives me a chance to see all the people shooting at me and kind of clear them out. Yeah, after this section, I was planning on cutting the video, but people have said they're okay with fairly long videos now. I took another shot there. Luckily, this is the point where I started to really worry. I'm basically in one-shot territory at this point, and I know there's a container at the end of this, as I can keep seeing it, but I worry that these guys are going to suddenly get accurate or I'm going to get snuck up on. As you can see, I could keep going around the top, but I decided to come down here because I'm now concerned that the people down here are going to get me if I go across there. See? This guy probably would have shot me straight in the face. This entire section, my heart was basically in my throat. I usually don't get this paranoid in video games or this worked up by them. But here I was, just constantly concerned I was going to get fucked up by somebody I should have seen. Watch this pro move. Both of them. Then this happens. This is the exact thing I was worried about happening. And I honestly don't know where he came from. I looked right down here, as everyone saw. He must have been behind some other box. So we're getting right to the end of this section. We have to go back upstairs. But I'm just being so paranoid about this. There's actually no enemies in this room. This is a completely safe room. I probably knew it was a safe room when I was playing it too, but I just don't trust it.
We've got a weapons drop on the way, Scott. Just a little something to help you out.
Overall, I like this mission a lot better than the first solo mission, but for the life of me, it makes me much more paranoid than the last one. And I think it's because they give you the gun camera and everything like that, so you know it's going to be a slog. Now here you can choose to keep the gun camera, or you can change out to a sniper rifle. You can keep the gun camera, or camera gun, I don't know what to call it.
Okay, so your new objective is to find and disable Guardrail 9. Scott, Guardrail 9 is about to jam all communications. Prepare to go dark.
And your issue pretty much comes up immediately here. You have control of the UAV again, which is great and all, but your first opponent is a guy on that water tower to the right. See, he fired right off at me there. Now, from this angle, I should be able to take him out. But as you can see, that's not working for me. I'm just firing bullets that just aren't going to reach him now. So if I go back in here and say, oh well, I should switch out to a sniper rifle, that much is obvious. What happens is, you can't. And I died in there. So instead, I cut this together and put this sniper back into my inventory. There's no reason to take the 6-round gun there. It comes with the exact same amount of ammo.
Okay, so your new objective is to find and disable Guardrail 9. Scott, Guardrail 9 is about to jam all communications. Prepare to go dark.
Alright, now the drawback on the sniper, and the reason I tried not to take it the first time through, is because, well, right after this guy goes down, it actually gets much, much worse for me. The sniper rifle is useful, but it's not as useful as an automatic weapon would be for a very specific reason. Now, I'm wary of a second sniper being out here somewhere, So I'm going to start making my rounds. The UAV is taking forever to get out here. As you can see, it's still over the train station. Now the hope here is that the UAV would provide you with an idea of exactly where all the enemies are. The problem is that there is a guy in a panhard in here. And that is not ideal when you're a sniper and he drives right at you as his instinct with a guy in a machine gun. And you'll see exactly why this is an issue in a moment. It's pretty much the easiest way to die in this section. You can't get to an automatic weapon before that. And so you pretty much have to hope that you can just kill him with this. I usually end up using a pistol through this section because I never like to drop weapons that the game pretty much makes me take. I worry about that sort of thing. And as a matter of fact, the next mission I usually end up with a sniper rifle throughout the thing because I didn't have enough sense to drop it, and that becomes incredibly difficult to do with just a sniper rifle. And here it comes. Now, if he didn't take that turn, I probably could have got that guy. But he did, and now he's coming right at me. And I'm playing this as like it's Call of Duty, and I'm trying to quickscope the guy. As you can see, this might be a bit of an issue. There you go. And as soon as you kill that guy, Jeep drives off. I am seriously pissed that that is even a part of this level. That doesn't change. That doesn't help anyone right there. Alright, a few more people here. And the attribute of the sniper rifle being that you can shoot through thin objects when you can get an outline is really paying off here. The problem is that I waste a lot of bullets doing it. And that's obviously not helpful because you only get so many with the sniper rifle versus how many you get with an assault rifle. So it balances out its one good quality with a ton of shitty qualities. Can't use it in close quarters really. You can't use it effectively as an anti-material gun. And sometimes it's not even accurate at being a sniper rifle. As you saw when I was shooting the guy in the water tower, it took about 3 or 4 shots before I actually hit him. So, overall, I don't like the sniper rifles in this game. When it works, though, it works great. And you can see from this section here, the UAV is not doing its job. There's guys all over the place that it's not picking up on. And that really annoys me, because I have to go out here and get shot by them. And they're at a distance where their assault rifles and LMGs have very little chance to hit me. But they're fairly accurate against my UAV. So I have to keep that thing on standby mode pretty much the entire time I go through this section. Yeah, can't look over that. Alright. Bam. Quickscope master. Alright, I think I'm ready to move out right about now. This is really a cover-to-cover exercise right now. If you're not well protected, you're going to be pretty much fucked in this area. I wish I'd cut this. This is actually where I decided that the sniper rifle isn't going to work for me and I need to pick up a 36. Thankfully, this guy already had everything set up for me the way I like it, which is good. This is where the UAV is going to come into handy, though. This is another close quarter section, just for a moment, and really it's not preferable to anything. But I want to get that UAV in there, and I want to be able to see exactly what I'm up against before I have to pop in. There's a couple patrols, and there's a few guys behind them, too, that aren't showing up on the UAV. don't trust any inch of this place. And the wonderful thing about having that UAV is that you can get around these guys or take them from advantageous angles much easier. So, for example, here I can make sure I only have one at a time. I'm going to waste a lot of bullets in this section of the level firing at people I can't technically hit, because I don't want to have to get too close to them. So, right here I was kind of lucky, but you'll see later on, I'm just firing. And I'd rather waste ammo than take the chance to get hit. Not when I'm planning on, like, 2 hits left. No thanks. Right now, I really wish there was a cover-to-cover system in this game, similar to Splinter Cell, Conviction, or the most recent Ghost Recon game. But there isn't, so I get super paranoid, yay, and concerned and worried. He's at a grenade range, which is unfortunate. Means I'm going to have a protracted cover battle with him. And if there's one thing I don't like in a game like this, it's being in the same spot too long undercover. And thankfully that guy took as long as he did to kill, because I just barely saw this guy over on this side of the boxes. Now, I could have gone around to get him, as you'll see here, but I was leaving myself exposed if he switched shoulders too. And I was putting myself at risk of getting hit by this guy, which is a much bigger concern. And as you can tell, we're getting kind of close to the guardrail here, because we're definitely getting a lot of static. The static in this level is nowhere near as bad as it was in the original solo mission, so that's one thing to be thankful for. What is it with the Tom Clancy games from the mid-2000s and Mexican train yards? I remember Rainbow Six Vegas had one exactly like this. Somehow I've made it to this section without dying again. This is an easier section than the last couple, and these guys are basically in groups of 2. And all I have to do is make sure I get the right angle on them. If you're slow and you walk straight out there, you'll pretty much get killed every time. But if you pay attention to these openings, and if you're paranoid as I am about them, you'll be fine here. Once again, with 2 guys, I don't want to try to zoom in. I'm still worried about somebody popping up around me, so I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. And I'm seeing the dead bodies from the last one, so not a big deal, but I'm still paranoid. These guys have been dropping down a lot into the prone position, and that makes it a little more difficult to tell if they're alive or dead. And the UAV, once again, isn't really picking up on these guys. I've been picking up on them by getting line of sight on them lately. I'm pretty dumb, so I just walk right out here. Nothing really bad comes of it, but I could have been a little more careful and stuck to the walls or something like that. Because there is one more guy in here that I haven't hit yet. There he is. And that is actually the last guy in this section. There's no more of them until the next area over there. You can see it on the left of the screen. That staircase. But to be extra safe, I'm going to take every way around I can. That is a lot of dead people right there. So it's just all about being careful at this point. More than halfway through the mission. And really, it's ours to lose at this point. Yeah, that guy was stupid enough. I still don't like the fact that you slide like that and you don't get into cover doing it. And you saw early in the level, I almost got killed because of that kind of move. And so here I spent about 8 minutes walking around this area trying to find the way out. It was over there on the far side near where I killed the guy. There's that staircase. And a free ammo box. So it means I can get some more ammo and get some more health. I really wish this was a weapons kit box again so I could get the camera gun, but I'll make do. So I've been mothering that UAV almost this entire time, and it's about to die. There's no way it survives this section, really. But it's telling me that I'm pretty scot-free on this. The problem with the... and as you can see, I don't trust it still. I will be checking all things that I can get shot from, pretty much. So that tower there on the right is the Guardrail 9 thing. How a spy plane flying over Nicaragua that got shot down was able to carry that is anyone's guess. Alright, there's no one up there, but... and for some reason I don't think to zoom in again. Here we go.
You're breaking up, Scott. You must destroy the target.
Okay. This is the last little stretch of the level I have to worry about in any significant way. There's a guy right there. I barely saw him when I went to cover. Let's hope the UAV finds him. And it doesn't. I think it's because the communications are broken on it, or the Guardrail 9 thing isn't working right, is why these guys don't show up in diamonds at all. But this section really concerns me, because there's a lot of areas where people can hide in the crates, similar to the train station. And even with the, and as you saw, I'm sending the UAV out, but it's not showing up in that green pillars. So I really think the UAV just doesn't work in this section at all. Usually it gets shot down by now when I play this game. And you'd think that with me being back in the green and having pretty much full health at this point, I would be a little less paranoid about this and be willing to take a couple shots. However, one of the things I remember about this level is a significant point later on, and actually right near the finale, where there's two massive firefights that I always take at least a couple shots during, and I'm considering those. I'm not allowing myself to go more than a few feet before I take cover. Yeah, I don't like this. Jesus. And as you see, he went right down, so I got a headshot. So, thankfully there. I was not happy about that, I'll tell you that one for free. Alright, time to hit the Y button and get on this thing, but I still don't like this area. This is one of those levels that reminds you that this game was kind of born of the Rainbow Six franchise, in that you have to be careful, you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you can't really take anything for granted because enemy placement isn't always ideal for you. It's randomized sometimes. And this level really got me concerned. Ooh, I think that was actually a shot that went over my head there. There was a stream, and I don't think it was from the video being the way it is. This sight issue here is... ooh, there you go. That's the building I was worried about. I've taken a couple hits on. So there's two guys on the roof, there's two guys in that window, and there's two more guys on the ground floor. So if I stay back here, I'm still getting shot at by all four of these guys. If I move further back, I only get shot by two of them. It's easier to do this. And just pop out every now and again and take a couple shots. Surprisingly enough, despite how long I can spend shooting out here, I don't get shot at all this. And once again, I'm not zooming in because not only does it cut off your line of sight, it takes longer to get back into cover because you have to double click to get out of the sight thing, and I just don't want to risk that. Now, I'm sure I saw something move down here. So those are actually, besides these last two guys, the last two that have spawned in so far. And watch how dumb I am. I'm trying to get off of the cover and I keep hopping over it. I'll do this at least once more. But you can't really use this as cover to shoot these guys. It might be preferable to go ahead and lie down and try to get over. But you also can't shoot over it. So I have to basically stay out of cover and just kind of head glitch these guys. And that's, of course, what I did. Alright, so that's actually cleared. That building is done now. However, I think there's a staircase down. I don't realize it's a slope. I assume that this game can be a complete dick sometimes, so that's what it's doing to me here. But eventually I open up the mini-map, realize that's a fairly gentle slope and there's no staircase showed up, so I can just go down there. The other issue is that because of the way that moves, the objective moves around, I don't realize where the entrance is to the building. So I'm looking for a direct doorway. I pass it there, I don't realize it. And I spend about 2 minutes just kind of walking around this thing. See, if I just turned around there, I would have walked right in. And I don't know why I kept this section. I think it was simply to show you that, yes, I can screw up pretty badly in this game. There's not always the most obvious solution to your problems, which can be a real issue at times. If you're trying to do this quickly and you don't know the level, you could sit here for a long while. But if you think about that staircase there, you'll slowly realize there has to be a way up. That door's shut. How do I get up here? There's a door there. And link it all together. And once I get in here, I also try to plant C4 on the ground. I don't realize it was the location. I thought that was the C4 spot. So I'm jamming the Y button here. This game really does not handle tight corners and alleyways and stuff very well, and that makes navigating buildings and smaller structures difficult. So here's guardrail 9, and we're going to blow it up because it is a giant fuck all tower. You think 25 seconds is plenty of time. However, if you are trying to navigate this game, which does not do tight corners well, and there's no sprint button or anything like that, and you control like a tank, it's not a great deal of time. I mean, you're basically put right underneath the building by the time you get out of here. And unfortunately, the area I'm standing in now, this is where the tower collapses, and you can get killed by this thing. And I realized that just about in time.
This is Mitchell! Target destroyed! Repeat, target is destroyed!
The football is moving away from your position, Captain. Repeat, football is on the move.
Copy that. We've got a Black Hawk en route, Scott. Hold your position until we can extract.
Yeah, I was getting worried. I knew there was another rush of people. I didn't remember where they came from, though. And so for the very end of the level, it gives you one more section of people to fight, and they're right underneath the helicopter you need to get onto. And there's not just a few of them, and it's not a closed-in area. So you're stuck fighting this kind of protracted battle as your helicopter hovers there with a gun on it, and you wonder why it just can't shoot these guys. Because of the very spread out cover situation, it gives you a chance to shoot these guys when they pop out without real fear of reprisal from their friends on the other side. But at the same time, there's so many of them and they leave cover so rarely when you're close by that it can take a really long time to do this. And you might forget if there's one or two somewhere, which I almost did there. And of course, they are too far away for you to really throw a grenade effectively.
Black Hawk 4 is ready for pickup when you are.
Good timing, bud. You the ride.
Copy that. Move to extraction.
Alright, so you got helicopter support. Let's see. Yeah. Mitchell does not have John Elway arms here. He throws like Tim Tebow basically. So it's difficult to actually get this out there and do this with any efficiency. As you can see, there's a fairly large section of no man's land on those train tracks with no cover whatsoever. And you just have to kind of snipe these guys until you can get over it. And it's almost a war of attrition at times. You can't really move very far, and they pretty much can't withstand too much fire from you. So all you have to do is clear out enough guys for you to safely cross the train tracks. And it's usually the front 4 or 5 guys like I've done so far. And move into cover again and again. But as we're seeing here, these guys are not very good. Once again, they're spreading out so effectively that it's just difficult to realize if I'm safe or not. And let's try throwing a grenade now that I'm a few steps closer. That still doesn't work. Look at that. So I've written that guy off. I figure I can go around him and shoot him in the back. Didn't realize he's got a friend over there. I hit him against all odds on that one. I was kind of impressed. So as you can tell, this was really dumb on my part. Just really dumb. There's no reason for me to do this. And I just want this to be over so bad that I'm just sprinting towards this thing. And at the last second, I about have a heart attack because there's a truck that goes, yeah, right there. That scared the hell out of me. But control was taken away. So thanks for watching this, everyone. I hope to see you next time, where we take to the rooftops of Mexico City.
And the fighting is intense throughout the downtown area, with many American casualties. Even more alarming are reports now coming into our studio that both the Chinese and Russian ambassadors have demanded an immediate American withdrawal.
Mitchell, rebel forces converged on us when our comm system crashed. Command and control in all sectors has been greatly compromised. As of now, you're my highest-ranking officer on the ground. It's up to you, son.
We'll assume Carlos has the suitcase in his possession. Ghost must reach the palace and seize the package before the Russians and Chinese get even more nervous.
Affirmative. Mitchell, here's the situation on the ground. You'll lead a flank attack with army support up this avenue. It must be cleared so our convoy can reach the palace.
Avenue cleared. Then proceed to palace. Understood.